Welcome you to the Monday press briefing, where we give highlights on the general security situation and incidents of security significance. We want to start by informing the country that the general security situation remains peaceful and calm. We, however, continue as the joint security agencies to monitor closely the security at Bunagana border point and across that borderline, following incidents of attacks by M23 rebels on government positions inside the DRC. We have by this morning about 1,000 Congolese refugees who fled to Uganda seeking asylum, and most of these indicate that they are from the villages of Chanju, Runyonyi, Chinyamahuro, Musongati, Cheya, and others inside the DRC. We want to already our teams from the Office of the Prime Minister, UNHCR, have caused for the transportation of a few hundreds of them to Nyakabande Transit Center. But we want to assure Ugandans that our borderline is very secure. We have the UPDF and the police who are on high alert. We are also monitoring plans by individuals and groups who are planning to hold illegal assemblies, processions, and demonstrations over the situation of some of the aggrieved students from Makerere who completed their studies but are missing on the 72nd list of graduation. The Office of the Inspectorate of Government intervened in this matter, but of course there are a number of holistic approaches and engagements with Makerere University to find a solution and also give answers as to why students who completed their studies successfully are missing from the list of graduation. We call upon the aggrieved students, of course, to use lawful means lawful means of putting forward their grievances instead of, again, going into the streets and holding unlawful demonstrations which can get them into the wrong path of the law. We are also aware of joint plans by the retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye and other political groups from the opposition to hold demonstrations in the city over the surge in commodity prices and fuel in the country. Of course, we gave our concerns last week, where we indicated that there are processes that have to be followed if at all somebody plans to hold a procession, a public meeting, an assembly. They have to abide by the provisions of the Public Order Management Act, and we shall definitely counter the retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye if he engages himself with whichever other political groups into acts of illegal assembly and unlawful processions. We shall ensure that the perpetrators are actually brought to book. Now, our territory directed all territorial commanders to provide security to pilgrims trekking to Namugongo. As you are aware, this year, 3rd June, the popular religious pilgrimage of the Uganda Matters at Namugongo will be celebrated following the full reopening of the economy. It is therefore the first time since 2019 that the religious event will openly take place. with thousands of pilgrims, faith-based tourists, and well-wishers expected to participate in this event. Following the religious tradition, it always involves or attracts pilgrims who start their journey of renewing their faith by trekking long distances on foot from different parts of the country, and even from the neighboring countries of the DRC, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and the South Sudan. It is against this background that the Inspector General of Police has instructed all territorial commanders to ensure the safety and security of pilgrims while walking through their jurisdictions. They must ensure their safety while walking along the major highways where they have to be escorted from point A to B. They have to ensure that the pilgrims have habitable places for sleeping. They usually take their rest at schools, churches, and community centers, so they have to ensure that these places are actually habitable. They also have to restrict the movement of pilgrims under the cover of darkness, since it is risky, and identify those who cannot endure the journey so that they are screened out and given medical attention. So far, we've closely policed the movement of pilgrims from Lira Diocese, and we expect more teams from West Nile, Masaka, Fort Portal, Mbarara, Soroti, Mbale. In addition to these other safety measures, we want to urge the pilgrims to carry warm clothing with them. A few basic items, identification documents are very crucial. Mobile phones, carry light bags. Some of them carry loads and loads of, as if they are shifting, which is not okay. They should carry something light so that their energy is not wasted on heavy luggage. It is also advisable that team leaders and individual pilgrims reserve some transport money on them. Since the return journey is not usually by foot, but they tend to board buses, taxis, and lorries to transport themselves back. So we've always had that challenge where you find pilgrims stranded at Namugongo. They don't have money to transport them back. The team leaders have left them behind. So it becomes a concern for security personnel. While in Kampala, we urge the pilgrims and all well-wishers, especially newcomers to the city, to be vigilant and cautious while going through the heavy traffic, and also to be on the lookout for criminals who target especially mobile phones and other valuables. And we want, therefore, to wish all pilgrims a safe journey to Namugongo as they walk to renew their faith and fulfill their obligations. We also want to thank the chief organizers from Fort Portal Diocese. They issued safety guidelines to all pilgrims trekking on foot, and even restrictions to only able-bodied persons of 16 years and above, which was a very good initiative. So for further information or further assistance, we call upon any pilgrims who are stranded to call the National Operations Room at Police Headquarters on 0707 600 773 or 0776 999 136, or our toll-free number 0800 199 699. Our pilgrims trekking to Namugongo, we also want to inform the country that we continue to enforce the political campaigns in Omoro County. So far, the political campaigns are progressing well without any untoward incidents. We do, however, condole with the relatives, friends, and party members of the NUP after the tragic loss of two of their party members who died in an accident. following a tire burst which caused the vehicle to overturn along the Palisakumi Road while traveling to Omoro district via the eastern route. May the souls of Dennis Waiswa and Yakub Chigundu rest in eternal peace. We want to inform the country that we have now entered day 8, and we expect the campaigns to be concluded tomorrow, the 24th of May 2022. So far the EC guidelines have been followed, apart from one incident where one of the candidates campaigned beyond 6 p.m. Then we got one case of voter bribery where 2 suspects were also arrested and they are being processed. We shall be giving an update. Now, as the political campaigns come to an end, our focus is now shifting to the resting day of 25th of May, where we shall be on the lookout for door-to-door final push campaigns that are prohibited. You know, although the campaigns are prohibited on this resting day, you find that there is a lot of grassroots door-to-door campaign taking place. This is not allowed. There are usually acts of intimidation and threats that are very common on this day, of negative propaganda, media manipulation, political motivated violence. So we are on the lookout for all these behaviors. But we want to assure the constituents in Omoro and the country at large that we are well prepared. Security is guaranteed. They should therefore go out in large numbers and cast their votes for the candidate of their choice without fear. We have fully comprised task teams and we've created perimeters across the 84 polling stations, the tally center. We have patrol routes, we have quick reaction teams in place. So this election, which is very important for the people of Omoro, is definitely going to be well secured.